It's an honor to be here. I don't count it lightly when pastors ask you to come fill their pulpit, especially. I'm really almost breaking a rule. I don't ever speak somewhere if the senior pastor's not there, because I just like to be under that covering, but I think it's okay around here. Just have that feeling. I want to tell you exactly what I feel in my spirit is transpiring. I'm here today to speak to this church. And I felt it rolling in my spirit for the past few days, and really had set in my mind what I should speak. But sitting there on the platform, if you've seen me thumbing through my Bible, the Lord has just been speaking to me, and I'm about to break again another rule that preachers just don't break. I'm going to preach to you something I've never preached before. God spoke to me while I was sitting there. I don't have a sermon as much as I have a message. So I'm not sure how eloquently stated it will be, but I do know that contrary to what I thought I was going to be speaking while sitting there, God just said, and of all places, you don't get up on Sunday morning on Mother's Day at Brownsville and say, I've never preached this before, but I feel very strongly about some of the things I'm about to say. And I think the Holy Spirit wants to both bless you and to challenge us. We're after Him, is that right? And for those of you that may be in the overflow, I'm glad that you're here. And I know sometimes media makes you close, but it seems like you're distant. But I pray that the Holy Spirit will fall in there as much as I anticipate that it's going to fall in here. I'll tell you the words that the Lord spoke to me when I came in, sitting right there, that so changed me. I had done all of the Mother's Day things prior to getting here. In fact, I don't know if this is good or not good, but my wife has been after me for a new washer and dryer. And when I presented that to her for Mother's Day, I'm not sure that's exactly what she was looking for, but it was better than a cupcake. Bless their heart. I don't know if they need a washer and dryer. We'll buy them one, but it's. I had taken care of all of the Mother's Day things. I FedExed. My mom is speaking in Buffalo, New York, and I'd FedExed a gift to her and got her call. Called my wife this morning, and had so focused in on the service that I literally forgot it was Mother's Day when I came in. I was just there, and then when they began to make the innuendos and give away the cupcakes, I was brought back to reality that, oh, this is Mother's Day. And at that moment, someone in the process of things made mention of Pastor Kilpatrick's absence, and aligned it with the fact of what happened here on Father's Day. And I heard that still small voice that I love to hear. And the Lord spoke to me, and He said, what happened on Father's Day is great, but what could happen on Mother's Day? What happened on Father's Day is when the Father came to visit. What happened on Mother's Day can be when the church becomes receptive. We are thankful for visitation. We are thankful for the presence of God that I feel. But in my spirit, it is time for what's happening inside the walls of this church, at these altars, to not just reach into other churches, but literally impact society at large. the cry of my heart has been, I want the glory to flow in the streets as much as it flows in the aisles. How we get there, I don't know. We've got our ideas, we've got our plans, we do our best little scenarios. We do all we know to do, because the real object, the real passion of anybody, of a Steve Hill, of a John Kilpatrick, of anybody whose heart is after God, is we don't want to just play church in here. We want God's presence out there. And there's an interesting phenomenon. If you can ever get the glory to flow over the threshold, it actually gets deeper the further away from the sanctuary that it gets. When Ezekiel measured the river at the sanctuary, when it flowed over the threshold and under the doors of the church, so to speak, that was its shallowest point. And the further he measured, the deeper it got. Something in me says, if you think this is big, you ain't seen nothing yet. But our problem is if we cheapen the phraseology of God, if we race to false finish lines, as I try to analogize about it, we feel like we've arrived when we haven't even started the race. We feel like we've done something when what has happened is great, but compared to what can be, it's immeasurable. And so I study revivals. I read from them. I quote from them. I deal with it. And there's a phrase that I was writing some things for a portion of a book I'm writing, and this phrase, this word kept popping in my spirit, and it connected me. I don't know if you just make connections. And I remembered when that word first impacted me, and I wrote the word discontent. And I remembered when studying after a pastor in Kentucky, which actually this pastor is the one who birthed the camp meeting movements in the late 18th century. And he spoke like this, or the late 17th century, the early 18th century. He said, the winter of 1799 was the winter of our discontent. And he talked about how discontented they were, and how small they were, but how hungry they were. And if we could have picked him up into time travel and catapulted him to the next summer, he would have not believed what he was about to participate in. Because by the next summer, they were filling the pastures and the fields because they couldn't get them in the buildings. My contention is that the stadiums of the world were built for the church and are only being rented by the ball teams. And I'm not just talking to make some sort of hype where we rent a stadium for a crusade. I'm talking about where the demand for what goes on in the church so far outstrips the demand for anything else that they say, look, we might as well give these things to you guys. Otherwise, all you do is block up streets and disrupt the city, because every time you come together, we don't know what to do with all of you. So, while I am happy for what happened on Father's Day, I would love to see what God could do on a Mother's Day. Why can't God say, let's take it to the next level? Let's dial it up. Do you really think that He's dialed in all the power that He has available? Do you really think that this is His home run swing? This is as good as it gets. This is the ultimate. I'm going to tell you, we haven't seen anything yet. We make our little statements, and actually by making them, we cheapen the definition of God. Because we make statements like, oh, I feel the presence of the Lord is here. The glory, we make this one, the glory of God is here. Right.